Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Who was the best NXT wrestler in 2018? That was really the question that was posed on today's episode, or yesterday's episode of NXT. I am Luke Owen. This is El Fakador Laurie Blake. Happy New Year, Swap Nation. It is the third day of 2019, and it brought upon us a long episode of NXT where recaps happened.
Oh, yeah, but like, more recaps than you could possibly imagine. There was a point where I was like, they're just showing the full match here.
Yeah, well, when they started doing it with the NXT North American ladder match, my notes were, I was like, okay, highlights package from the North American ladder match. And then I was like, no, this really just feels like we're showing all of this.
Yeah.
Then they showed the Orkin, I've done it again, Lorcan and Birch match in full.
Orca and Birch. Yeah, with entrances and I was like, oh my god, like this is, why are you doing this?
Yeah, so this was the end of year episode at the start of a new year. I really feel like this one should have been aired last week, really. And it was basically like a best of. Here's a recaps. Actually, it really was. If you are just getting yourself into NXT, like if you missed all of 2018, but you heard all of this buzz, all of the end of year list awards that were like with us and Cultaholic and other channels and that were like, you should watch NXT, you should watch NXT. And then a lot of fans were like, what is this NXT I hear quite a little bit about on the internet? I'm going to go onto the WWE Network on the Wednesday and watch the next segment of NXT. And this episode is kind of like a very good introduction to what you missed in that year. It recapped all the big feuds. It showed you lots of the matches. It told you who to look out for in the new year. And then it ended off with we'll get to the match.
It really did hype that match.
Didn't it just? Yeah. Yes, this was a 2-hour show that was all recaps and all video packages. But in that was also the announcement of the NXT Awards. What do they call them? The NXT Year-End Awards 2018, and they kind of like showed previous winners of those, like Sasha Banks winning it and DIY winning it and all this, that, and the other. So we're going to go through each of the categories and say who we would pick to win if we were going to vote.
Shayna Baszler for all of them.
All of every single one. Now, this is weird, I'll be honest with you, because I was expected to go onto WWE.com and find myself with like a little form, maybe a little button that I have to push, you know, like a little radio button that just says, this is who I want. No, you've got to go onto Twitter and tweet the hashtag of the category and a hashtag of the nominee you are voting for. And then it says, please limit your vote to one category nominee per tweet. Just have a radio button, because some poor sap's got to go through there and count all of the votes manually.
Yeah, but that's how you get tweets going, mate.
Oh, but it's not like WWE is a channel that's low on tweet content, you know what I mean? Or like people tweeting them nonsense. Like whenever they post up a video, you just get these weirdos that just tweet back to them who think it's all real.
I think the key is here, they'll have all these people do all this and they'll get all the Twitter traffic, and then at the end of it, they'll just say, yeah, well, that person won anyway. No one is going to count this. Not even someone in WWE is going to count this. They're going to take
impossible.
They're going to take a gist of it. They're going to go, oh, well, probably.
I bet you Shayna Baszler won.
Yeah, it's probably Gargano. Like,
it's probably
Johnny.
It's probably. Well, we're looking to give Aleister Black a push, so it was probably him.
Yeah, we'll say
it was him. So we're going to go through each of the categories here, kicking off with the female competitor of the year. So while our video is titled Wrestler of the Year, WWE do not like that word. So therefore we have the female competitor of the year, and the nominees are
Woman Grap of the Year:
Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, and Bianca Belair. So if you want to join in, it's hashtag NXT Award Female. And then you just have to do the hashtag of who you also vote for. But you've got to do their full name. You can't do hashtag Bianca. That won't count.
No.
So, what do you think? Nikki, Baze, Kairi, Embs, or Bianx?
It's fairly obvious my answer. It's Shayna Baszler. I feel like the only person who would probably touch her on that might be, for me, Ember Moon. But Ember Moon's year was definitely the year before.
Yes,
I think.
I
And
would
then
agree.
this year was more sort of her, definitely seeming like she was on her way out, but they had a few, like, you know, she had her win and all that stuff. So it was the end of her title reign this year. So.
Exactly, yeah. I think, Ember debuted up on the main roster just after WrestleMania, so really, like, she only had 4 months worth of NXT stuff. And within that, she did have really good stuff with Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
But it was a very short run. I don't think that Nikki's done a great deal in 2019.
She's been on holding pattern,
2018 rather.
really, yes.
Yeah, you and I, when we did our NXT in review, which we pre-taped before they announced she was going up to the main roster, we spent a good 5 minutes talking about WWE. Curse you. Saying why she should go up to the main roster, because really she'd done everything she needed to do. And while it was fun that she was involved with the Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano stuff, it really almost felt like she was in that role because we've got Now Tells for you.
Yeah. Well, she's also like the perfect character for that as well, because she's mad.
Yes.
So she can just insert herself wherever she wants. It's like, we need to fill a match. Who would have a match with this person? Nikki Cross.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I'm amazed that Lacey Evans was not in this list, because they bloody love Lacey Evans.
They do love Lacey.
They absolutely love her. But yeah, so I would also go with the woman rad. I would also go with Shayna Baszler, but in a close second, Bianca Belair for me. I think she's had a very, very not a fascinating year, but as someone who has just like instantly turned themselves into a star.
Yes.
In NXT, I think that Bianca Belair's very much done that. So I think she is going to be very much in the running for 2019. Unless, of course, my prediction is true, because my wild and wacky prediction for 2019 was that she will win the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, and that will be her main roster debut. So up next, we've got the male competitor of the year, which has got more nominations than the female one. So if you want to join in, it's hashtag NXT Award Male. We've got Tommaso Ciampa,
Tommy Champs,
Johnny Gargano,
Johnny Gargs,
Ricochet,
Ricky,
Aleister Black,
Ali Black,
Velveteen Dream,
Velvy Dream,
Andrade Cien Almas,
Andy Almas,
Adam Cole,
Adam Cole,
and Pete Dunne. Peter Dunne. Peter Dunnett.
Peterus Dunnus.
So I really struggled to read that list out because I almost just said the word you said previously. So I think for me,
Johnny Gargs.
For me, this is very much like a three-way for Ciampa, Gargano, and Black. But if I had to pick one of them, I suppose you could throw Adam Cole in there as well. But for me, I think I'd have to go with Gargano. Gargano he's been Johnny Takeover. He's been I think he's been the MVP of NXT in 2018.
Well, I'm going to go oppositional, and I'm going to go with Ciampa then.
Such a great champion. And that's the kind of the brilliant thing about NXT.
The greatest sports entertainer of all time.
That's kind of the brilliant thing about NXT in 2018, really, is that, like, I picked Johnny Gargano, you picked Tommaso Ciampa, but I'm not sitting here going like, well, that's a remarkably silly choice. Yeah. I'm going like, that's actually an excellent choice.
There were 8 people on that list that have all had outstanding years. They've all done.
Almas.
Yeah, Almas had an outstanding beginning of the year. Almas had and I mean, he's also proven on SmackDown that he's capable of having amazing matches.
Really is.
They're just booking him badly.
Yep.
And he started out fairly well booked, had a little hitch in the middle, and has gone downhill. But like his NXT bit, in just 2 months that he was there? 3 months? It was fantastic.
It was an incredible turnaround for Almas because he came into NXT with quite a bit of fanfare as this babyface with the trilby, and everyone was like, what's all this about? And the braces and whatnot. And everyone very much went off Almas as quickly as he came in, really. And he very much he fell down the card. They didn't really know what to do with him. And it was the partnership with Zelina Vega. And all of a sudden, you felt like he could be a top guy in this company. Yes. Then he won the belt in November 2017. And I was like, oh man, he is, and it was like that. It was like an overnight sensation for Almas, and I was so stoked for him at the start of the year. I thought he had such a really strong start, but as you say, like the main roster call up, and it's just been flattened out. It really feels like they think that Zelina Vega is the wrestler of that act, and Almas is just there to be El Idolo and do the pose and whatnot. So it's a real shame because he could have been a real strong contender, especially after that Gargano match at Philadelphia.
Well, it's that exact same thing as the Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch thing. Is like people weren't really putting much stock in old Almas, and then suddenly he wins the title. Yeah. And even that match was a bit like underwhelming with Drew, and obviously because Drew was hurt, but like it was a bit underwhelming. And then suddenly he just had this turn, and it was like, oh, you're now this one of the most fantastic wrestlers on the roster.
Yeah, and I've got to give a shout out to Pete Dunne as well because I bloody love Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne's fab.
Pete Dunne is fabulous. So, so we've got an overall competitor of the year. Did they announce this one on TV?
Yes, they spoke about this.
Did
one.
they?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the one that kept coming up throughout the show.
Yes,
I thought it was just like an overall.
Have I got it?
We are doing an overall awards thing. So this is the NXT Overall Award. So it's basically all of the people that we've just gone through, but it's the women and men together. So now you've got to do who is the overall competitor of the year.
And do you just choose from who we've gone? Who's the best male competitor and who's the best female?
No,
competitor?
this literally.
And do we then choose just between those two, or do we go wild and pick someone who wasn't either of those two, and then make a case for why they weren't the best male or female, but they were a great competitor?
So it's a bit like the Oscars, where like you might win best screenplay, best Oscar, best director and best actor, but not win best film.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this might be that sort of,
because the Oscars are pointless.
Competitor might mean in this case, like it's like Sportsman of the Year award. It's not like because you could have competed a lot, but not won much or done much with anything. It could be just like you were very nice. This is the consolation prize.
So in that case, then I'm going to give it to Ricochet.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm going to give it to
I'm going to give it to the Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Because he has been, all of these other people in here, he's made them stars. So he's done very well.
Lovely. Well done, Dream and Rick. NXT Tag Team of the Year. So we've got the Undisputed Era of Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, the War Raiders, Street Profits, Heavy Machinery, Lorcan and Birch. Did I say that right this time?
Yes.
Yes, I did. And Mustache Mountain.
No, funnily enough, Raul Mendoza or Humberto Carrillo.
Well, exactly. Otherwise, they would
win because they are the best tag team in NXT. Easily.
So unfortunately, we cannot vote for them.
No.
Or TM61, sadly.
Yes.
Or what they got? The Mighty, rather. Yeah, because one of them's on his way off back to Australia.
He's already there, mate. He's already there.
I'm going to say... See, usually I would say the Street Profits because they're my favourite tag team in NXT, but they haven't really done a lot in 2018. They had that feud over the Cup, but that was more or less about it.
The Cup feud.
The Cup feud.
The cup you can buy from any shop.
Infamous Cup feud. Solo Cup feud. So I'm going to say... I don't know. Who are you saying?
Sort of like, I feel like
it's hard to pick.
Lorcan and Birch might, maybe?
Yeah, and I want to point out here, it's not because we don't care. I mean, really, this is all pointless regardless anyway. We were struggling to think of things to talk about in this episode of NXT because nothing happened. But I genuinely find it very difficult to pick between these 6 teams. Really, like, maybe 3 teams in that full list, because you could probably discount... Street Profits and Heavy Machinery and Lorcan and Birch, I would say, because aside from that one match, they haven't really done anything else outside of
they were
the
injured
year.
for a while.
So I see, for me, really, it's between Undisputed Era, War Raiders, and Mustache Mountain. But those are 3 really, really good teams. It's very hard to then pick who I think is the best one of that lot.
I think Undisputed Era.
I'd agree.
Overall, because I think the War Raiders haven't had their moment yet, and they've done a lot of very good beatdowns on people, but they've not had many stand out like. These were slogfest matches. Like, they were in War Games, that was very good, and in the build-up to War Games, they were in quite a few matches. They're still yet to have their breakout moment, and obviously they're a litany of injuries currently and weddings and things, so they're probably quite busy. Undisputed Era have just been involved in all those big sort of marquee matches, but also had amazing, like, traditional tag team matches with the likes of Mustache Mountain. Like, they are the full package.
Yeah.
And I think that's, there's no argument there, probably.
I completely agree with you. I think War Raiders very much like they kind of they came in with a bit of fire, but only really started to get storylines towards the end of the year when in the build up to War Games. Street Profits had the Cup feud and with the Mighty, and that was about it. Heavy Machinery have been very entertaining, but
stakes and weights,
they haven't really had like a storyline that's sort of driven them throughout the year. The Hard Bastards had that one great match, but then injuries really hurt them and their momentum coming off of that match. And Mustache Mountain did have that great period during the summer, but then have been sort of like, I don't want to say relegated, but moved across to NXT UK, where they've been more of a focus over there and been moved away from NXT. So for me, really, as much as I like all 6 teams here, it's got to be Undisputed Era. Yeah. NXT Takeover of the Year.
I didn't know that was a thing.
This is news to me as well. So this is tough, this one. Is it NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, NXT TakeOver New Orleans, TakeOver Chicago, Brooklyn 4, or War Games? Brooklyn 4?
Brooklyn 4.
That's the one I missed. I wasn't here for.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched the full show.
It's great.
Yeah, I've watched bits and I did watch it in like one sitting. I would like watch one match here, I'd watch one match there. Like I watched the tag match, the Mustache Mountain tag match, like before I got on a plane. And then I got back and I saw sort of like bits and pieces from other matches, and I've sort of then gone back and rewatched them.
It's difficult though because they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like out of those 5 shows, there's probably a bad match.
That's it.
That's
the EC3 match.
Yeah, the EC3 match, and that's it. It's still pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was great for EC3.
Yeah, it really was. I think only because I haven't seen Takeover Brooklyn 4 in one big chunk, and I think that would really that would have just made me probably pick that one because all those matches were absolutely awesome, with the exception of the EC3 match, and. So I think without watching it all in one chunk, so you got the context of being like, that match was great, and you build up and you see the next match, and you build the next match, you build the next match. I think I'm going to have to go with War Games. War Games 2018 for me. NXT Match of the Year. This should be a tough one. There's one of crikey, there's a lot to get through as well.
There's so many.
Because this is the one they didn't really Did they actually say in the show? Because they just sort of said there's loads of matches. Go to the website and find out what they are.
Yes, they did, and I was like, I'll remember to do that. I did actually for the first time ever. Mate, I've remembered to do some research.
You've done so much better at this than I have. I've literally just gone to WWE.com. So we have got War Games from Takeover War Games, Gargano Almas from Philadelphia, NXT Tags, which is the Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era, which was the TV match that did appear in our top 10, the WrestleTalk's top 10.
Throwing in the towel.
Gargano Ciampa from New Orleans, the North American Championship ladder match, which controversially did not feature in our top 10.
It was in an honourable mention, but then we didn't record the honourable mentions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's something we probably should mention, actually. Yeah. We did record loads of honourable mentions, especially for wrestlers and matches, but then we decided the videos were too long, so we cut them all out. So that's why...
What can you do?
That's why your faves wasn't there. We did want to record them, we just didn't have time.
We've pandered, like us,
exactly.
Please.
Shayna Baszler from TakeOver Brooklyn 4, Ricochet Dream from Chicago, Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa, which is the one on TV where Ciampa won the belt. Pete Dunne versus Zach Gibson for the UK Championship, which was on NXT TV. Apparently, I don't think I saw that match. Cole Black from Philadelphia. Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, NXT UK Championship match from NXT TV. Undisputed Era versus Burch and Lorcan. Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair. Ricochet versus Pete Dunne, which is the North American Championship versus UK Championship match, and the triple threat between Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and Adam Cole for the North American Championship.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think because the choice of Johnny Gargano Ciampa match isn't my favourite of the three, I'm going to have to go for the Moustache Mountain Undisputed Era TV match.
Oh, yeah.
That was in our top 10.
It was in our top 10.
And, I think my favourite Ciampa Gargano match was the last one.
Yeah.
Or the second one. And then the first one was like...
yeah, I was going to say, my favourite was the second one, actually. I think I might go Gargano Almas. I bloody loved that match.
That was a very good match.
Very good match.
That was one of the few matches that ever got me to genuinely jump out of my chair at something happening. I was like, ah!
Yeah. There was some really good matches on here, though. Really, really strong stuff. That North American Championship match, I know it didn't feature in our top 10, but it was a stonky match, and I was reminded of how good that match was in the highlight package on this show. The NXT Rivalry of the Year, our nominations are Gargano Ciampa, Shayna Baszler, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Nikki Cross, so the Aleister attack, Gargano Almas, Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era, Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler, and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. Do we need to have a conversation about this? No. I mean, it's I'm not even going to make a joke. It's Gargano Ciampa, right? It's Gargano Ciampa here.
Yeah. I don't know why they've even splintered it off. I don't even know why they splintered it off separately into having the Aleister Black one just so they can have his... They've just done that so they can have his name in there. It's
exactly.
That's still the Gargano Ciampa feud. It doesn't matter. It's still that feud.
You can't trick us, mate, by adding another name into it. It's Gargano Ciampa.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The breakout star of the year, our nominations are Bianca Belair, Lacey Evans, Women's Rat, Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, War Raiders, and EC3. Well, it's not EC3, is it?
It's not EC3.
No.
It's probably not Lars Sullivan.
Or Rhea Ripley.
Although he is...
I like Rhea Ripley.
He is the breakout star
Yes,
because he's now broken out of NXT.
Yeah. As is Lacey Evans. Shout out to the main roster. Rhea Ripley, unfortunately, because I don't have time to watch NXT UK, so I don't know really... I've only seen the stuff that she did in the Mae Young Classic. And I really like Rhea Ripley. I loved her in last year's one, so I'm sure she's doing great stuff at NXT UK. I just haven't got the time to watch it. Ricochet. I'm going to say Ricochet.
I'm going to say Bianca Belair.
Good shouts. Good shouts, mate.
I'm going to say Bianca Belair because she was not particularly a known quantity.
That's true.
And so Ricochet coming into NXT was kind of like, I mean, he's still called Ricochet. Yeah. So
you're already great,
his name has some value there. So I don't think he's like a breakout star.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, though, has had a fantastic year.
Yeah. I might change my vote to Dakota Kai as well, just because she's my girl. She's great. The future star of NXT. There's a hilarious nomination in here. Actually, there's two hilarious nominations that really do not belong in this list. Bearing in mind,
I think this was a remember these two people. These people exist. It was that.
It really was. I was like, why are they in the nominations? Anyway,
they're the finest.
Our options are Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, the Forgotten Sons, Dominic Dijakovic. Dijakovic, thank you very much. Io Shirai, Aop Shirai, Candice LeRae, Duke and Shafir, and Kona Reeves. The finest Kona Reeves.
What an idiot.
It's a gimmick that's done so well that Ollie had no idea who I was talking about when I reached the finest. He was like, who's that?
Yeah. What's one of those?
What's one of those? So
Tesco's finest Kona Reeves.
Who is the future star of NXT in 2019?
Ooh, I mean, you can see there's a big claim for Matt Riddle. I can see huge things for Matt Riddle. Mia Yim has had a fantastic debut. Io Shirai should be the biggest thing. She's just not had a match since she was.
She had that tag match.
She was in the final of the Mae Young Classic and then appeared on NXT TV a few times, and then she had that. So that was her. That was in her in-ring debut.
I think it was her NXT in-ring debut.
Yeah, so her NXT debut was the tag match with Duke and Shafir.
That's right.
She obviously turned the tables completely in that thing, but she's not shown enough yet. So I feel like even Mia Yim's had a better showing than her. Oh, I'm confused.
I'm going to say
so many options.
I'm going to say Riddle. I think Riddle is going to be the award future. He's my vote anyway because I think he's going to be NXT champion in 2019. I could definitely see him winning the belt, perhaps even at like one of their, I was about to say one of their big shows, but I suppose they're all big shows. But like their SummerSlam big show.
Yeah.
Where is SummerSlam next year or this year? Is it in LA?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember. But I think it's going to be like at that SummerSlam show. I could see that Riddle winning the belt there, or at War Games perhaps. But yeah, so I'm going to go with Matthew Riddle.
I'm going to say Mia Yim.
Ooh.
As she was signed obviously under huge swathe of fan support.
Yeah, but so was Cedric Alexander.
Yes,
and it took him a little while to get going.
It took him a little while to get going, but I feel like they did. He was caught up in the let's also have Enzo Amore be the Cruiserweight Championship debacle. So I imagine Mia Yim might get a bit of a better shot.
Sure you don't want Kona Reeves?
I'm all right for Kona Reeves, thank you.
I've got enough finest stuff in the house, to be honest.
I'm all right for Kona Reeves.
My baked bean collection is ginormous currently. So those are the NXT end of year awards. We're going to very briefly run down the show, mostly to talk about the Riddle Ohno match at the end. But do stick around because we've got a very special surprise coming at the end of this episode. Whoa. So it turns out I didn't actually have my notes open on my laptop, and when I did open them, I realised I'd called the notes SmackDown. So
that gives you an insight into how much NXT was worth writing about.
I'm off to a flying start. That was more effort for me to call it SmackDown than it was NXT. So yeah, this was a 2-hour show. It's the awards special, and it was just loads of highlights. Let's run through the highlights they went through. As I say, if you haven't watched any of NXT in 2018, this is a wonderful jumping off point because it gave you like everything you need to know from 2018 to then get you all set and ready for 2019. So actually in that sort of vacuum, I think this was a successful show.
Yes.
But as a viewing experience when you've got to take notes, did wear me down.
Yes, and also in the process of being a show that's on the WWE Network and then showing you full matches from other products that are on the WWE Network that you could just watch.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, okay,
they may as well just give you timestamps.
Yeah, exactly. Just go to this show. Like, just give me a hyperlink, I'll be fine.
So we got the North American Championship ladder match from NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Then we got the Breakout Star of the Year nominations, video package for Gargano vs. Ciampa at New Orleans, and then got the finish from the Chicago match as well. Got a video package for Black vs. Almas at New Orleans, and then got Ciampa winning the belt back from Ciampa winning the belt from Black in June. And we also got a recap of who ran over Aleister Black with the reveal of Johnny Gargano. Recap of Riddle knocking out Kassius Ohno at War Games. Then we got the Tag Team of the Year Awards nominations. They showed pretty much the whole of Undisputed Era versus Burch and Lorcan. Great match. Great match, lads. Rival of the Year nominations, Future Star of the Year nominations. I've written here, basically every match from NXT has been nominated for Match of the Year.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
They showed all...
Funny enough, no Kona Reeves matches there.
but he's in the Future
I
Stars
know, he could
Award.
be a future star.
Oh. They showed all of the Bianca Belair versus Deonna Purrazzo match from the Brooklyn pre-show.
I thought that was very weird.
I'd imagine would have been on the NXT TV episode that aired after Brooklyn 4. But as I said, I wasn't here, so I don't know. I was in Canada. I was in the Canadian mountains.
I remember watching it and thinking, that's a match.
It was a match. Bianca Belair, of course, won.
Yes.
She's undefeated.
Undefeated.
And she is going to be facing Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship because she won that four-way that was on the episode.
Which is entirely why they showed this entire match.
Yes.
To be like, remember this woman? Yeah. She is good.
She is ace.
You will have to watch her in 3 weeks' time.
We then got a video package of Gargano versus Black from War Games. Is that right? Yes, we did. Yeah, and then we got the finish of the cage match to round off last year. And then we actually got a new bit of footage. Gargano being interviewed after the match. And I really like this because the interviewer was essentially going like, are you now teaming with Tommaso Ciampa? And he essentially just ignored the question and was just like, what a good guy I am. I absolved Aleister Black of his sins.
I'm the hero.
I'm the hero of this story. You guys should cheer me. I'm the good guy.
Did you see Johnny's little tweet over Christmas?
I did not. No.
So he did
I didn't really go on Twitter.
So Johnny did a little tweet over Christmas that was a sort of end of year wrap up, and there was a little slip at the end where he said he'd written, I think he was trying to write die, and he'd written DIY. Oh. And then Ciampa retweets it and says, "Do I spot a little DIY in there?" It's pretty good.
Freudian blowjob. I was thinking about this show. While I was watching it, and I was like, we're seeing a lot of the same stuff here. Do you know what I really would have liked to have seen on this show?
What's that?
The NXT match they did at the Madison Square Garden events
definitely.
on like Boxing Day. Like that, they had this big epic 10-man tag. If I remember correctly, it was Matt Riddle, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so those five versus Ciampa, Gargano, and the Undisputed Era of Strong, O'Reilly, and Adam Cole. That 10-on-10 or that 5-on-5 match, put that up on this show. That would have been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd have been awesome. We then got the nominations.
Look. I will take over, or I will
DIY trying. Very nice.
Johnny Gargano.
Very good, you sir.
Flirt.
We then got the Male Competitor of the Year nominations and the Female Competitor of the Year nominations, which I suddenly realized I wrote down so few names, I thought I'd missed one. Because there's so many in the male nominations. I was like, why is there so few in the female category?
Ain't got lots of women's.
Apparently not. And then we got our actual match on this show, which was Matthew Riddle versus Kassius Ohno, a rematch from NXT TakeOver War Games, the match that Riddle won in like 6 or 7 seconds, whatever it was, the official quickest match in TakeOver history. And it was, so this whole show was building up to this match. Like every time they would do a video package, they were like, still to come. It's that epic rematch encounter between Riddle and Ohno. You've got to stick around this whole 2-hour show to watch it. And I'm like, okay. And I mean,
it could be good.
And I was thinking to myself, I was thinking to myself,
I was having a little think to myself, and then I thought.
I was thinking to myself that because this is a 2-hour show, this match is going to be given loads of time. Maybe even feel like a big, like, takeover style match going 25 minutes, half an hour, 20 minutes. No, this match went 10 minutes, I think. About 10 minutes. And then
I was watching the clock for the end, and I kept being like, and another video package?
More awards?
Yeah, what?
And then and it was like
full entrances,
and we got a 5-minute sort of like after match sort of storytelling bit as well, an angle afterwards. But it wasn't really much of a match.
No,
I was really surprised by this. I mean, because it's Riddle and Ohno, but it's not like they went out there and had a bad match together. The way that the match was structured wasn't there to be a good match.
No.
It felt like this match was just there to be a backdrop so they could do the post-match angle afterwards.
Yes.
And that's all this match was there for, because it was really just Riddle firing off hard at the start with the exploder suplex and sentons. Then Ohno took over. Riddle made a comeback and then won.
Yes.
That's basically it.
It felt like the beginning of a much longer match.
Yeah, right.
If this was the half-hour match you were going to do, obviously do the big Kassius Ohno beat down with hundreds of sentons and kicking him in the head or whatever for ages. And then you've got 20 more minutes for Riddle to fire back up, fight back into it, whatever. Here it just went, Ohno's in charge, Riddle fires back a tiny bit, Ohno's still in charge, still in charge, senton, he's reversed it, bro mission.
Yeah.
End of.
And that was it. It was surprising. Surprising. I'm not going to say the word shocking, but it was surprising. I really thought they were going to give a much bigger match, especially for those who stuck around for the whole 2 hours of this show.
Well, this is clearly all build, right? So we're all on the build train now towards the next takeover, and this will be probably one of the matches in that, I imagine.
Yeah, but then if Riddle wins that one as well, then it's just... It's a one-sided...
It's a very
one-sided feud.
Yes.
And afterwards, Riddle offered the bro fist after the match, but Kassius walked away looking, oh, so sad, I'm grumpy and I lost. And then he got back into the ring, and I like the crowd chanting, bro, no. Yeah. That was really, bro, no. And then Ohno gets down on one knee, and he offers the fist as well. Matt builds this up because he's just incredibly charismatic and bloody wonderful, and he really builds to it like, oh, tease, oh no, bro, yeah, I'm going to do it. The real-life Michelangelo that he is went to go and do it, but then Ohno grabbed him by the wrist, and he tossed him into the ring post and beat him up round ringside, and left standing tall to round off this first show of 2019.
Cowabungered all over it.
He really did. So that was NXT in a nutshell. It took us 20 minutes to go through the nominations. I'm amazed it took us about 8 minutes to go through the whole show itself, which is mostly just recaps.
This is a show.
But we did promise you that there was going to be a big surprise at the end of this show. Whoa. When you come back, there won't just be two of us in this room. So we did promise you a very special surprise, and that surprise comes from one of our pledge hammers, Christopher Jenkins, Infinite Crisis
Jenkins,
who has been sending us emails. If you're one of our Podswafters, you'll have heard that he sent us a really lovely care package when we first moved into our new studio, and he also promised he was going to make us some Bludgeon Brothers style hammers that are WrestleTalk branded, and they have arrived. We had to release them from customs. Quite literally, we actually had to release them from customs yesterday.
We didn't actually.
Did we not?
I never paid it. I don't know how it's turned up here.
Oh, okay. We got a letter saying that we had to pay it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting.
It's just like,
they're illegal
fed up of
hammers.
having this hammer box here.
Yeah.
We best send it on.
Oh, so we should point out,
it does say hammer box. So, have you got it open yet?
Well, and I should have. We did talk about pre-opening this slightly.
And I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
Oliver's a hammer man, not a knife guy.
Yeah.
It shouldn't really. God, it's well packaged. I guess it has to be if it's come overseas.
It is, yeah. Right, shall I stand up as well?
Well,
Although
no,
if we
because
stand
no
up,
one
none
will
of
be
us
able
will
to
be
see.
in shot. But I want to see.
Come on.
Okay.
Right.
This is a proper unboxing video.
It really is.
There's
Should have worn like fancy
there's
white
blue
gloves.
stuff.
Ooh, there's gifts as well.
There's a gift. It's Happy Birthday, Luke.
Oh, what?
Ah.
And it's in.
There's an Ollie one. We got little coasters.
Oh, that's adorable. It's a little coaster
Made
that says,
out of
I was
trees.
Groot.
They're all the same.
Oh, that's very nice.
They're also all unique. No, that's Luke.
That's mine.
That's Laurie. Thank you. We can.
It's from Merc with a Mouth Woodworking. Very nice.
I did buy us all individualised mug. What do you call them? Coasters when we first moved in.
Mug stations.
Oh, you did?
Stations.
Yes, mugs.
But they were like different DC superheroes.
That's it. I got the Flash.
Yeah. I got Green Lantern.
So I've got a birthday present here, which I'll open.
But these can replace them.
You can do,
I
yes.
mean, the amount of cups that everyone else has on their desks apart from me and doesn't take them to the kitchen.
I take mine to the kitchen.
Maybe, that can be used for that.
Are you doing this passively aggressively because Randy Datson's now in the room?
Randy Datson's off camera.
Thank you so much for your present. I'm
a cup holder.
very much going to... Let's have a look what's in here. Oh,
Look at the hammers first and then read
double
me.
package.
Whoa.
Which means it's T-shirt based. It is T-shirt based.
Oh.
It is a Gizmo Duck Hunt T-shirt. Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
That's amazing. So it is a parody of
dweeb.
Nintendo, an old Nintendo Entertainment System, the Duck Hunt game. But it's Gizmo Duck.
I don't know what's happening.
That's cool.
Loser.
Thank
Yeah,
you
Gizmo
very,
Touch,
very much.
sure.
Right.
What's that?
From
This is to
DuckTales.
be read once we've looked at the hammers.
Okay.
Lovely stuff.
Okay.
So many layers.
I
This.
like
I'm
this
just going
t-shirt,
to-
Chris. I like that
I'm gonna put
t-shirt
this
a
Here
lot.
we
not
go.
away.
Holy moly. Okay, there's a lot of sort of... Jesus. There's a lot of packaging stuff. This is very well packaged. But the tops of the hammers look good.
Hang on,
Yeah.
what's
Let's
this?
this out.
Ooh. There's more
Ah.
things.
More things.
Tiny little title belt
Okay.
accessories.
Ooh, and a Money in the
Oh.
Bank lunch case.
Oh, wow.
a load of action. Whoa!
This
Loads
is-
of action figures. I can see a Yokozuna in there.
Well, this is a bag with loads of action figures in that says heels. But I can see Stone Cold. I can see John Cena, Dolph Ziggler.
Maybe
Surely
they're...
there's a faces one.
Strange figure orgy.
What have we got here? This is to Andy What's-His-Face from someone on Reddit. I can't remember who. So that's actually for you, mate.
And here's the baby faces. It's all. Is it
It's
all?
just all John Cena.
No, there's Damien Sandow there.
There is, yeah.
There's a lot of Cena.
There is. Who's the one
What
in the
a
big tight pants?
Thank you so much. this is semi-confusing. I'm
I'll
liking it
open
all.
this in a minute.
What is it?
It's for me.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
It's got my name on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Right,
God,
is this
there's
the big
so much
reveal?
packaging. Thank you so much, Jenkins.
Oh, whoa, that's hefty.
Is this in camera?
Datsun, is it in camera?
it's
That's
on
why he's
camera.
asking.
Yeah, you're not. But
It's okay. The
hammer's
hammers are
the
the most
star.
important. Whoa.
I actually do need some rubber bands, so if you can keep hold of this, that'd be great.
Do you also need some really cozy blanket material?
My wife will, because she's a bit of a cold bod at times.
As opposed to a hot bod.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'm a hot bod.
No, you're not. You're so cold all the time.
No, aesthetically. I'm a hot bod. Okay.
Oh, this is.
Oh my God. I appreciate this, Jenkins, but
It's so well packaged.
there's another one of these. Oh.
There we go.
There we go. Right, we're in, lads.
I mean, this one says your name on.
Does it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
do you
wait,
wanna-
Okay.
Do you want to
Or
hold
do you
it?
wanna
Want to
then?
unsheathe?
Yeah, do you want to switch then?
I'm holding the end.
Okay.
Oh, it says Luke on the... Sorry, Jenkins. Oh, jeez.
Sorry. Right. I'm going to wield this like Thor. I suppose I should wield like Harper, but...
Yeah. Wield it carefully.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Oh.
Oh my
Look at this.
God.
And it is, you can tell this one's mine because it's got SmackDown Live written on it for my SmackDown reviews and NXT for my NXT reviews. This is the WrestleRamble blended one. It says, sorry, I thought I was hitting you for a second. And Swaft on the handle with my name on the other side.
Oh, my
There's
God.
WrestleTalk and the WrestleRamble logo. And this is finely crafted. This is
Wow.
excellent
I
stuff.
wanna take this
and
home.
This is hefty. There's
girlfriend
some
would be
weight
furious.
behind this. Have a bang on that, mate.
Have a bang on that.
Have a bang on this hammer, mate.
Have a toke. Have a toke on
Take a
this
toke
hammer.
on this hammer.
So I'm curious to see who this one in the red pants is. The toy.
Okay.
Oh, it's Sheamus. That makes sense.
Well, after some technical difficulties there, we're
Datsun.
back on
Datsun turned
passing
the
the
camera
box.
off.
Yeah, I'm passing the box back. Datsun decided to turn off the camera.
Yeah. So we've got one more of these two.
Do you want to go through some of the...
I'm going to go through some of these
the
action,
action
figures.
figures.
We've got babyface Daniel Bryan with a beard. I've got a Rock. Seems like it's maybe it's 2014 return Rock.
Oh, flamethrower return.
No, not that one because he hasn't got quite as many tattoos for that one.
Okay. Nor a flamethrower.
Undertaker. Looks like Ministry of Darkness Taker.
Actual movable knee
Although he's in
pads
the
on
baby
Daniel
faces.
Bryan.
Yeah, I think... I mean, I appreciate all of these
Oh,
toys.
well, do you remember when they used to advertise these?
Oh, the ones
We
that
did
throw
some on
people
Patreon,
around.
didn't we?
Did we?
The ones that they're toys that just fight themselves.
They're the best kind of toys. They play with themselves.
It really is.
It is
Small
watch.
soldiers.
Small Soldiers was on over Christmas.
Was it?
Yeah.
Small soldiers.
Reminded
big
again
battles.
how rubbish the Gorgons are.
The
Oh,
Gorgonites.
yeah, the Gorgonites
Gorgonites.
are naff.
They are rubbish.
I am Archer.
Oh, yes!
King of the Gorgonites.
Oh, I've got a
Leader.
blunt hammer. That's much better. You've got Raw on one side. I've got support WrestleTalk. I've got the WrestleTalk logo, another WrestleRamble logo, and I've got Stuff Bad.
That's great.
And Ollie, and the little St. John's
Onesie
ambulance
me.
thing on the back, on the
Just a
top
little,
here.
Yep.
little ambulance.
The
Healthcare
insignia
logo.
that they
Yes.
have in America.
Well, that is an excellent,
Oh,
excellent
thank
haul.
you.
I got a hammer.
Order.
Oh,
Order.
nice. I like it. It's got a beard on it and
Yeah, it's got a
everything.
beard and a lucha.
Oh.
That's the most portable.
Order!
Look at that.
We actually have-
That's great.
One
have
day
history.
I'm going to
have history,
hit
thank you.
Adam Pacitti in the head so hard
Yeah.
that WrestleTalk will be
Yeah.
imprinted.
Oh, you passed it to me upside down. Okay, so he's now got the introduction of Read Now. Hang on.
It's like Alice in Wonderland.
It is. Read me. Dear Luke and Ollie. I'm assuming he means and Laurie as well, and maybe Randy. Last month on November 10th, WrestleRamble, after talking about Luke's theatrical experiences, both of you spoke on the subject matter of making mistakes and your fear of failure. That day, you inspired me to incorporate a deeper sentiment onto the hammers. I want to direct your attention to the headlines where they read "swaffed" and "stuff bad." I've been watching the WrestleRamble since the beginning, and these were the first mistakes I remember each of you making publicly. I put these words there to remember you to help remind the Swaff Nation that nobody is perfect.
Constant reminder of our
especially
failure.
not these two.
Yeah, it's too right. Each week you guys speak to thousands of people online, which opens you up to the harshness of internet comments and criticism. Did you see the one I got yesterday?
Yes.
So,
What was it?
I'll find out. I mean, I can't
Gotta
say.
narrow it
I can't. I
down.
literally can't say any of the words that were sent to me. But crikey, it was full of.
It was
profanities.
vitriolic.
It was vitriolic. It really was.
You must have said something stupid and liberal.
Was it on Twitter?
No, he sent it. It was a YouTube comments, but I posted up on Twitter because it really made me laugh. I effing hate the ground you walk on, Luke. Cuck. See you next Tuesday. ASS, mother effer. I hate you and I want you to die.
Wow.
I know, right?
2019.
Like, that is vitriolic.
Maybe that was his New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
maybe.
be more of a troll.
Be more of a knob.
But
harder.
carry on,
Anyway,
carry on.
everyone doubts themselves from time to time, but here's the thing. When you slip up, instead of editing every little mistake out, you consistently share, celebrate, and learn from them, effectively turn them into strengths. You may think you're simply making fun of yourselves because of a silly verbal mistake, but I'm convinced there are WrestleTalk fans going through hard times and those afraid to make a mistake that would find what you do inspiring. I know I do. You are setting a brilliant example to the Swaff Nation on how to repurpose a mistake.
That's in bold.
It is.
Yeah.
And so from this day forward, you have officially transformed your mistakes into weapons of battle, fear and failure. And I personally consider these hammers the personification of WrestleTalk's triumph and success. I sincerely hope you and the rest of the Swaff Nation love the WrestleTalk hammers as much as I loved forging them. Infinite Crisis, Chris Jenkins. Love the fact you use forging. That's great. It makes me think of the dwarf in Infinity War.
Yeah.
I need to make the hammer. I need to make the axe.
Pretty good impression.
Thanks, man.
These are
dinkles.
inversely proportional to our penis size as well.
P.S. I hope you don't mind, but I kind of sort of signed the hammers. I put a small Star of
that
Life
what
on
it's called?
both
There you
hammers.
go, Star of
It's the
Life.
universal symbol for EMTs and paramedics around the world, and my way of putting a personal stamp on the hammers. The 6 points of the star represent 6 different aspects of my job as a paramedic. I won't bore you with what they are, but feel free to Google it live on air if you're curious. Well, thank you so much. I noticed it in Beavis and Butthead Do America, but I always thought it was just the Red Hot Chili Peppers logo. Okay, so read letter.
Later.
Do you wanna read
Also,
it?
about the mistakes and why we keep them in. It's definitely all the reasons you said. That's why we do it. It's not because we're too lazy to go back and re-edit
And just
stuff.
be like, I'm sure it'll be fine.
What's this then? So
sure
this
only
is
a few
the
people notice.
read second. Okay.
Yeah.
Ollie, you're probably the only one worthy of even lifting your hammer, which I can do with one hand.
Careful.
Careful. And he literally can't.
Later. As you can see, I took design cues from Thor's Mjolnir hammer. I mounted eye hooks in the handles so you can hang them up. But Ollie, please don't attach a wrist strap and try to twirl the hammer around like Thor. I'm going to do that. You'll either pull your arm out of the socket or give yourself a concussion. I put the Raw logo on the hammer during the same weeks you gave Raw a ball rating following Survivor Series. Cheers. And I thought it would be best to put the 2012-17 logo on the face of the hammer.
I was going to say,
I didn't even recognise
Yeah, it's not
that.
the current one, is it?
Yeah, yeah. The
literally
current
just
one's
the
really
impact
flat
font.
typeface. Yeah. To help ease the pain of Raw's current state of booking. It's a new era, though. Plus, I personally like the way it looks better. I prefer today's logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like flat.
You're so ungrateful. You're the worst to buy gifts for. You're so ungrateful.
I also found a virtual Royal Rumble amount of action figures collecting dust in my closet and thought you could make better use of them on your set. So is that 30? Have we got 30 action figures
Well,
there?
we've got a lot of John Cena's, so unless you want... I mean, there's literally 2 Cena's at the same...
I can't see any Cena's.
There's so... Oh.
Excellent. There's a reason why we keep you around.
Vince McMahon's dream.
Yuckity, yuckity.
It is, yeah. We've also got a Zack Ryder. So maybe he can get booked.
I've got a Ryback.
Quick side note, both tag belts with blue on them belong to Yokozuna, and if you squeeze Ryback's legs together, he randomly shoots out punches.
Ryback! Calm down, mate.
Positivity, positivity, positivity.
Enjoy. Will would certainly enjoy the Ryback one. Here's you for your one.
Luke, happy belated birthday. I came across this t-shirt and had to get it for you. I mean, what's more Luke-oing than an 80s cartoons and vintage video game? I let my more inappropriate side show this time with 3 of the most effed up Marvel beverage coasters you'll ever find. Too soon? Saw a picture of them on the internet and immediately knew I had to make them for you guys. There's one for you, Ollie and Laurie. Sadly, I think I'm done giving gifts to you guys for a while, except for maybe Laurie. I'm worried my generosity is starting to come off as creepy. It really isn't. Plus, I'm going to have to start explaining to my wife where some of my time and money is going. However, if any of you think this is cool idea or I get inspired again, let's email. Laurie, there is a letter for you as well.
I just got the Groot wood-based.
Did it take you that long?
Yeah.
I did say it was kind of cute, but also a bit tragic.
Yeah, well, I just thought you were being nasty.
Laurie, swerve, bro. I didn't have enough time to make you a proper hammer, and this was the best I could manage on short notice. But I like my little gavel. Not to worry, though. I'm sure it's perfectly average size. It's a perfectly average-sized hammer compared to Luke and Ollie. Seriously, though, I now have enough time and materials left over to make you a full-size custom hammer as well. Just say the word, and I'll start brainstorming ideas. I was thinking of a Stormbreaker-inspired design with a D&D logo on it somewhere.
Nice. That'd be good for...
You can switch Ollie's out when you do the NXT Ramble. Just let me know.
You'll love that with living with your girlfriend who loves stuff like that.
She loves
decorating.
things. Absolutely.
She loves the fun stuff that you have in your room.
Yes, exactly. Yes, everything's in a cupboard.
What have we got here? Just a quick hammer maintenance tip. I sealed the hammers for protection against light rain or if something spills on them by getting them too wet will cause the wood to expand, which will most likely split the mallet head. Maybe nothing... It sounds so sexual. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe they'll crack a little bit. Maybe they'll split completely in two. Try to keep them dry. Oh, and for God's sake, whatever you do, don't let Sammy Callahan get hold of the hammers.
Good advice, mate.
Advice.
Great advice.
We have all seen what that man does with WrestleTalk stuff, and I won't be held responsible for the mayhem and carnage he would create with them. These hammers were meant for display, but I believe they are sturdy enough to be shoot hammers. These aren't working hammers.
Whoa.
Great power, great responsibility. You get the gist. Lastly, I had a dream you guys shot a Bludgeon Brothers parody vignette bumper where you walked down a hallway or something, hammers in hand, and when you got close enough, you set the hammers down in front of a low-angled camera, showing off the WrestleTalk logos. Ollie hung the WrestleTalk magazine he was reading on his handle. I don't know how that works. And Luke set the Swaft beanie on his handle, just like the Bludgeon Brothers entrance. I woke up laughing like a madman. Please consider doing this or some form of it at a live show. Now that you've read this, you can read any part of this on air that you want to. Keep up the consistent work.
I definitely think that we should bring these. Like when we do the next live show, we'll bring the hammers with us because people can pose with them. Bit like when we had our picture taken with Cody Rhodes and his belt.
Remember how I never wore the jacket outside the studio because I was afraid of being a knobhead? I think turning up with our own gimmicks. Hey, you can take photos with us.
Yeah, totally.
£5. You want to hold the hammer?
It's good enough for Brian Zane. It's good enough for us.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
He's a man who loves his gimmicks.
Thank you so much, Jenkins. This is a wonderful haul. Cesaro, there's 2 left. There we go. Well, thank you so much for these
this
wonderful,
is a much easier way
wonderful
to use them.
gifts. I've got my... oh, no! We just lined those up yesterday. Well, this is amazing. This is really, really cool. They're very, very weighty hammers, and I very much enjoy them. Yeah, thank you so much. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift. Do you want to do your usual sign-off?
Yeah, if you can still see me, please click the videos that have just appeared on the desk to catch up with the latest WrestleTalk awesome things. And now this button, which should be directly over my face. It's like the podcast link is talking to you directly. click it. Click my head. Click where my head is and get subscribed to the podcast version.
Yes.
I've been Ollie Davis. These two have been NXT dweebs who watched the actual show week to week, not just the takeovers like cool kids. And that was Rambling.